Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lacey, and recently I shared a graphite drawing that I did for my portrait drawing class. And this is different for me because usually what I'm sharing on this channel is in charcoal because most of my work from life is in charcoal. I find it really adaptable. You can just move it around a lot and it goes a lot faster than graphite. So I thought I would share another example, which again is a demonstration for my portrait drawing class that is online. You can find the link below in the description if you want to learn more about that. But it's another graphite example where I'm using kind of, I like to call it sight size light. So it's a way of measuring where everything is the same size as your reference photo. Can be done from life, but I'm not covering that here today. Let me know if you would like me to cover it in the future. But let me go ahead and show you the drawing. Here it is. It's not complete because graphite takes a really long time. So I really look forward to getting the rest of her hair and everything done in there, but right now that's the state where it is. And I'm going to show you the recording of how I set that up and just explain a little bit more about how I do that and why. So let's go ahead and jump right over to that. So here I am using a T-square to draw a plumb line, okay, making sure that I put a corresponding plumb line on my paper, and then I put a horizontal line. It might not look horizontal, but it is. So now I'm kind of measuring everything around the whole face based off of that intersection in front of the eye. So I'm starting really simple with this block in, right? And then using the tool, which is called a divider, in order to measure to all these different points. I'm wanting to measure to the points and keep things the same size because that makes it really easy to problem solve. So although this is not the way that I always draw, I highly recommend this for beginners, for anybody who feels like you don't tend to get proportion very well and you really want to improve that. And the reason is because when you're keeping everything the same size, you're training your eye to see proportion accurately, and you're able to problem solve in a really direct and, what's the word I'm looking for? It begins with an O, like objective way. So it's not so much like, oh, is it that this line is too long and this one's too short, or is the angle off here, or what's going on? You don't have to go through so many steps in order to troubleshoot this. You just take some measurements, you know, either the measurement works out or it doesn't. So it's pretty direct. That's really helpful if you don't have a teacher over your shoulder, you don't have somebody else to kind of help you along the way. So that can be a great stepping stone also to other methods. So that's why I really love to start off this way. Also with graphite, like I said, it takes a really long time. I would not be surprised if there are 8 hours of video in this 6-minute video, and this is not even complete. So graphite definitely, it takes a while, and here I'm showing here I'm showing how I like to layer the graphite. So with charcoal, you know, I often start off like really dark in the shadow and really light on the light side, and then I start, you know, to kind of bring those together. With graphite, it's a much more gradual and kind of delicate process where I'm putting down one layer of shadow and shading and then gradually, step by step, getting darker. So we really need to layer. We need to try and fill in the grain of that paper in order to make things really dark. And if you try and get there too fast and you try and just like go directly to pushing really hard and getting all the way in there into the paper, you tend to burnish the graphite. And what that means is that the graphite becomes shiny and reflective, and that doesn't look too dark. It also makes it so that it's very difficult to erase or change your mind. So I highly recommend that you just gently layer, you know, at least 3 layers anywhere you want it to be pretty dark. So do those hatch marks in different directions, use a blending stump without pushing hard on it to get that graphite into the paper. And also finally, if you want to get things really dark, Use a very, very sharp pencil point, which I would not say that these pencil points you're seeing right now are terribly sharp, but just get them as sharp as you can and then actually use those pencils more like perpendicular, and that's going to allow the pencil to get into the groove of the paper. All right, so you can see I'm just like gradually going through to detail here. Now I'm finally starting to commit to that outline, so I tend to do committing to shading before I commit to the outline, because as I'm shading stuff, I start to change my mind about some of the proportions. So it's nice to have that form established first and then get the outlines afterwards. So that's the way that I work, rather than starting with an outline and then filling in the inside. You know, those outlines can be very difficult to change your mind on later. And the hair was so much fun here to do. You know, one of the ideas with the hair here is that you want the shadows to be pretty quiet in terms of texture and clarity. So you'll see that I have some softened, kind of like blended graphite all over the shadows in the hair. And then of course I erased some for where light is literally hitting the hair, but everything else, I've shaded some areas in the shadow darker so that you can see individual locks in her hair, but they're not outlined. So I have a harder, sharper outline on those locks that are in the light so that we can see them clearly. But then all those locks that are in the shadow have a really soft edge on them, so I did not outline them. And that really helps them to go ahead and just sit in the shadow. So this is about where I finished on this drawing. I would just like to thank you so much for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me. If you have any questions about this process, let me know in the comments below. If there's something in particular you would like more information on or would like to see a demonstration about, let me know about that as well. And in the meantime, happy drawing, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.